Hi, I'm Kara. Welcome to SugarPea Designs. Today we are making Thanksgiving place cards. I'm using the smaller of the two frames dies from Postage Stamp and also some of the dies, most of the dies from Cutie Pie. So those fruits and pumpkin and the word pie and all the little pieces that go with it. Such a fun set. All right, so I'm going to start by using my scoring board and finding the middle of my place card so that I can fold it in half, and I'm just putting that center on over one of the lines so that I can score it. And now I'm using a Teflon bone folder to crease it because I find with the plastic one it can leave like a shiny streak. So now I'm just going to glue on all of my pie tins, and I cut these out of some scrap silver paper, and that other one was there just to help me remember where I wanted this on my place card. And once I have all four of those set, I'm going to open these up so they're easy to work with. And we'll start with our first one, and this is the classic pumpkin pie. So I am just going to use some Copics to shade my paper. Now this is all just scrap paper, and that's one thing I really like about using these die sets is that you can use all your scrap paper and find colors that work, and you're just using up that scrap paper that you kind of hold on to. So that's how I'm starting, and I'm just shading it. I found colors in my Copics that I practiced on just a small piece and then found what worked. So glued that in, and it's time to start on that pumpkin. All right, so these are place cards to show what kind of pies we are serving at our Thanksgiving dinner. And we are hosting this year at our house, and so we usually have about, well, it depends how many people, but 2 to 4 types of pie. And of course, we have the classic pumpkin. Not everybody in my family likes pumpkins, so we have others to choose from as well. But I do. I like pumpkin. So I'm finding where I want the shadows, and what's nice, I really like to work with colored paper and Copics for something like this because you don't have to start with a piece of white and color it all in. And really, when I'm shading, I find something that once it dries, it's the same color as the cardstock. And that way, that's my lightest blend. And that's how I can get it to look smooth in with the cardstock. So this is the YR18. I used the EO7, and then my lightest here is the YR14. And it doesn't have to be a perfect match. It just helps to blend it in. Once I have that done, I'm going to start with the stem. And so I cut out each of the fruits with in green as well as in the color. And that way I can use them, just clip off the stem there and clip off the stem on the pumpkin. And then I can glue that green portion underneath, and then it fits perfectly like a puzzle. All right, so that's done. And then I'm going to also color the word pie, and I'm just shading on the left and below. It's kind of what I'm trying to do to make sure I keep with the shading on the same places. I always think, okay, left and below or right and above. So this one is left and below, and I'm going in with my darkest color, and then I'll come in and blend it into the color of the cardstock. Glue on the pumpkin, and then I'll glue on the pie. And see that little dot for the eye? I was really working hard this time to not lose those little dots. I always lose those little dots and have to go back and cut another one, but I think I made it all the way through with all 4 words and got that little dot to stay where I could find it. So here I'm using my finger and my scissors to get that in place, but you'll see I come around to taking out my jewel pick and using that because a lot of tiny little things here. All right, well, this pumpkin pie needs some whipped cream. And so I am just shading in those little whipped creams with a C1 and a C0. And then, I don't know, I think I would wait, in reality, I would wait till I served the pie to put it on because I like to put on a lot of whipped cream. But I put some of the whipped creams that I didn't color in place so that I knew where I wanted the ones that I did color, and it was just a matter of putting on a dot of glue, picking up the whipped cream with my jewel picker, and placing it on the pie. So I'm just getting through all of those, and then you'll see I forgot to put on the pie crust. So I will come back in and do that, but I had a little runaway whipped cream. And now I'm just going to lift up those whipped creams a little bit so that I can get this pie crust underneath those, and it's not a big deal. So here we are. The pumpkin pie place card is all done, and it's time to go on to the cherry pie. So I'm starting with coloring in the stems of the cherries. And one thing you could do with these place cards, you could make enough for how many pieces of pie you had, and you could have people choose their place cards and put them next to their places, and then when it's time to serve the pie, you could go around and do it that way where you know where the pie should go. Or if you want to make one of each, you can set them near the pie and serve your dessert buffet style. You wouldn't need to do this at all. I get that. But what fun to have something like this. It just makes the Thanksgiving dinner a little special when you have little details to go along with it. So that's why I'm doing this. I just think it would be so cute and fun to have these little pies all set to go for the occasion. So I'm cutting off the little cherries so that they can be glued onto the stem. And again, I'm going to use my jewel picker to get those little pieces on there. But I love that you can just cut it in green and cut it in the color, and then how cute is that? You know, you have your cherries. And then, of course, we need to put some cherries in this pie. And it's a detail you might not see once you have the lattice pie crust over it, but I know it's there and I like it. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of shading to this lattice pie crust and then blend that in to the color of the cardstock. And then I can glue in my cherry pie filling. It's like I'm making a pie. I love it. And then glue on the pie crust. And I think that my paper pies turn out okay, maybe better than my real pie. But thankfully, my husband also likes to cook and bake, and so I'm not the only one in the kitchen, so that's good. And he carves a mean turkey, so I am thankful for that. All right, so putting on the cherries, and then I'll glue on the word pie, and then our cherry pie will be all set. So we have our pumpkin and our cherry. And then I can't forget, it's over to the side, I see it, that little dot. And there we go. And perfect. Picked it up with the jewel picker, cleaning off a little glue, and there we are. It's all set. So on to the next pie, and this one is key lime pie, and one of my daughters is a huge key lime pie fan, and so even for her birthday, she would choose a key lime pie or a cheesecake. But she gets their key lime at Thanksgiving too, and she is going to be happy to see that I even made her a key lime pie place card. So this is my lime, and I'm shading that in, and how fun. I love to have this with the traditional pumpkin and cherry and apple. It's kind of fun to see this little lime, and you can do lemon, whatever you like to do for pies. There's lots of different options with this set. So getting the stem and leaf colored, and then I'll clip that off and clip off the leaf and stem on the lime, and then I can put them together. Putting a little more detail on that lime. Okay, well now I can put on the glue and get that lime onto the leaf and stem. There we go. All right, I colored the pie word and the pie crust the same way I've done before. So it's time to assemble this place card. So I'm putting in the key lime pie filling and then just gluing. Now I remember to put the pie crust rim around and put that down. And then I can put on the whipped cream. And this time I know where I'm going to put them, so I'm just adding a dot of glue each place where I want them, and I can just add the little whipped cream. So these pies are cut into 6 pieces. Sometimes pies need to be cut into 8 pieces. I understand, but not in my house. Big pieces of pie. So there we go. And then I'll just glue on the lime and the word pie, and we're all set. And you can see at the top I have that dot all ready to go. So third one that I haven't lost yet. Yay! All right, so get this little guy on, and our key lime pie is all set. We're all ready with that one. And so we are on to the apple pie. So the inside of the apple pie filling is kind of a golden, I don't know, but I thought it was about this color, and I'm putting some little apple bits in there and some warmer, more cooked pieces of the apple, and then just kind of blend that around, make it look so gooey and bubbly. Makes me want some apple pie. And you won't see too much of that with the lattice top on it, but I know it's there again, and I just like putting in those little details. So I'm coloring up my apple now, and this is a red apple, so I wanted to get something a little darker than the color of my paper. So I'm using this R29, and I'll blend that into the apple with an R24. And once I have those all blended together the way I like, just clip off the leaf and stem from the apple and part of the leaf and stem on the green one, and then I glue those together. And I like to keep a little of the top of the green so that I can get it positioned right where I want. So I didn't show you all the putting together of the apple one because it was just like the others, but as you could see, the dot on the I is there. And here they all are together, the 4 different pies that we're serving for Thanksgiving. And I thought those 2 pies deserved a little whipped cream too. So a little dot of glue, and this is the larger whipped cream that comes in the set along with the little whipped creams. And the little whipped creams come 6 together, so you don't have to cut them individually. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you did, if you would like it and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for coming and have a great day. Bye.